Hi everybody, Ed Bemke here with Keller Williams Realty. I'm hoping that this is the first of a 10-part series on downsizing. The first question and the title of this particular video is it the right time for me to downsize or for you to downsize from your current home? First reason people come up that I discuss with, and probably one of the more popular ones, is empty nesters. What's an empty nester? It's when your children move out and you're left behind with this big house and just you and your spouse or possibly just you are left behind. This may be caused by children graduating from high school, children going away to college, graduating from college, getting married, just plain moving out after one of these, or possibly getting a job in another town or state. Or even country, you never know. There are a few people that do that or go into the service or what have you. I've got a client of mine, Nancy, who was divorced. Her children, she grew her children, raised her children, and they all moved out after college. They started to move away because of jobs and so forth, and it became very difficult for her to keep up with the house, taking care of the yard because her sons were gone, and with the snow and the grass and everything, and it just became difficult for her. And she deemed it was the appropriate time to sell the house and rent on her own. Now, we did find her a first floor rental, so she was all set once everything happened. The second reason may be that you may be ready to downsize is retirement. All of us baby boomers, and this is going to happen to most of us here. More and more. I'm of that age myself. The house becomes too big after retirement because your children have already moved out. Just because of the empty nester part of it there. Maybe you want to reduce your taxes and expenses of housing. Maybe the yard work may become a little more difficult for you, or you just don't feel like doing it anymore. You may want to travel, and this is very often. You may want to travel for a month, 2 months, 3 months. Maybe you want to become a snowbird and move down to Florida or some other state for 6 months of the year. I can't blame you about that. Clients of mine, John and Diane, are similar to that. They do have family here. Their children and grandchildren are still local, but yet they wanted to become snowbirds. So they each year they rent a different place in a different state, and they're doing this until they find the perfect place for themselves long term. They have decided to sell their home, purchase a 2-bedroom condo where they can just lock the door and not have to worry about it. They don't have to worry about the grass or the snow or anything like that, and everything's pretty safe there without any problems. Next problem is maybe there's a mobility issue. Clients of mine, Joe and Louise, had problems with the stairs. First it was Louise that had the problem, and they added a chairlift in it. Then as time went on, the years continued to go on, Joe also had some mobility issues. This happens when you're in a colonial and all the bedrooms are on the second floor, the laundry's in the basement, and it just becomes difficult going up and down the stairs. In this case, they had the chairlift, and yet after a while it just became too tedious for them, and they decided to purchase a home, purchase a condo with a first floor master. So everything's on one floor, ranch style, and everything worked out much, much better for them, so they didn't have to worry about going up and down anymore. Another reason is maybe the house just becomes too big for one person or possibly two persons. This happened to a client of mine, Carol, who actually is a widow. She was widowed for 6 or 7 years at the time that we sold her house. It was a 4-bedroom, large 4-bedroom, lovely house, big basement, walkout basement, big yard, beautiful view. You couldn't ask for a nicer place, and yet for one person, it was just too much for her. So she finally listened to her daughters, and we sold that house and got a much more appropriate house for them with the first floor master. She didn't have any mobility issues. Ended up getting her a place with an extra bedroom on the second floor that she did not have to go up to unless she needed to. That was more for the guests and when her children or grandchildren came to visit. That happens often here. That when especially with widows and widowers, it's a critical time that you may have to reduce your expenses. Your taxes have become too big. The house is too big. What are you doing with a big house like that? And if it comes time that you are answering this question of is it time for you to downsize, please reach out to me and let's have a conversation of what we can do to help you with that. There's many options and many variables that come into play, and many ways we can do it. Let's make it as easy as possible to answer all the questions you have here, and let's try to get this done as efficient and stress-free as we can. Hey, have a great day, and we'll talk again soon.